Brock, this is Adrian Gomez with 212 Athlete. We're going to look at really what are the weaknesses that we can see to increase your velocity. Right now you're sitting about 95 degrees, so you're doing a very good job of sitting on that back leg. Early on, I noticed that how early your hand comes out of your glove before you're throwing. So I'd like to keep that ball and glove a little bit longer with that timing, and I think that's going to help a lot. As you plant, let's get into the front leg. So the power of the back leg it looks pretty good. I think you're doing a good job. As you plant, let's see what's going on here. So you come out and around, but we have quite a bit of a shift in your knee. So it comes out in. There's a lot of in, out, in, a lot of movement with your knee. So we want to reduce that. That's 11 degrees. So I want to work on your external rotation, your front leg. And if you can work on that and stabilize that, that's going to help a lot. And I think looking at this, these next two angles is going to make a little bit more sense. So out of here, we're going to measure your double leg. So you have good flexibility. You're driving quite far off of your back leg and your leg staying on the ground, which is what we want. But as you rotate into your front leg, so that's not an issue. As you rotate in your front leg, though, this angle of your front leg is pretty small, and it's absorbing a lot of energy. So as you're throwing, a lot of your energy is going out of your front leg, and it's not in the ball. So you're taking away, that energy is taken away from how low your front knee is. What I'd like to see happen is that your front knee comes back, that it almost straightens, and as you drive, this leg comes back and my chest drives through this way. So that front knee is going to be huge. The front leg is going to be very important for you to fix, and there's drills on there to work on that, and I hope you get after it. Just in a few short weeks, you should have a good handle of it. Our online program has 40 plus videos to work from, and we'll take you through it. Just click on the weakness and you'll have access to it. So looking at posture at ball release, you are what we call I'd say a B, close to an A. This would be a C posture. I'd say you're close to an A posture though. So what this means is that's where you're releasing the ball. Trace it back, and let's see, you're here. So as you drive through, your head movement is quite a bit. And we could minimize that just by staying back, keeping your head there, and then my head doesn't have to move that far. It actually doesn't move at all. And this is something that we call stacking that's really, really going to help you. So I'd like you to stay back. When you come up, I want you to stay upper body back this way, but not forward. I want you to stay in this angle that your head is at so that you don't have to work around your body so much and fight your body. So looking at launch here, this affects launch as well. Let's look at how far this goes. So your launch right here is out of that front, a little bit past that front foot, which is pretty good. I'd like to see how far. Your arm is actually delivering the ball quite far outside of your body as well. So I'd like to keep it a little bit thinner. We'll talk a little bit about this with your arm fly out. This is something that is evident that I can see right now. That's going to be an issue. So let's see. Launch looks pretty good. So let's go to stacking. So you do a good job of your knee being inside and driving early with that back leg. Your upper body could do a better job of not not going forward, but staying back. And when you do that, you're going to get your head almost over that rubber for a longer period of time, and to be able to drive that chest through with more velocity. So that's going to be huge. So I think stacking with your upper body is going to help a lot. Let's look at your upper body, your front glove. So looking at your front glove, moving and pinching, you're actually doing a pretty good job. But it's a little bit low. A lot of it has to do, some of it has to do with your front knee. There's a lot of movement in your front knee when you're rotating around that. And it's just not stable enough to get your hips to rotate as quickly as they could. They could be rotating a lot more quickly, but your front knee doesn't stabilize and you're not able to rotate. So so that front glove needs a little bit of work, but I think a lot of it has to do with your front knee, because it's not retracted, it's not coming back as it should. It should be coming back a little bit this way, but it just stays at that angle, and then you kind of come up on your heel. So looking at your high elbow here, we're looking for the measurement of both shoulders. So I think you have a little bit of a low elbow. Let's look at this as you come back. You pinch. I'm not getting across my body. You're kind of extending and snapping. I want to go through the ball and keep my elbow bent, and you're not bending your elbow. You're not throwing with your body, and that's what's not getting you into the post-throw phase, where you're rotating and your upper body is getting through and your elbow bent, and putting all that stress in the shoulder blade. That's where we want all the stress to be put. So I think you don't have a high elbow. I think it's about 4 degrees, so it's not a huge issue. It's a little bit low. What that means is right here, your back elbow isn't pinched. You can see it back in there. It should be pinched more. And then when you want to throw it, it didn't stay pinched long enough. So I've got to really work on pinching that back arm. That's going to be huge. So 45-degree knee throws are going to be huge, and final arcs are going to be huge from your knees for the throwing, to fix that shoulder. We're going to look at your chest extension at release point. Chest extension is right here, right off your hip, back to your... So it's about 40 degrees. We want it to be in the 40s, but I'd like to see upper 40s. The difference between upper 40s and low 40s is a matter of 3 or 4 inches. So this knee is going to be huge coming back. That's going to increase your upper body, your chest extension out forward. And the last thing we're going to talk about, so I think definitely chest extension is a weakness. So out of layback, you're laying back. Let's look at what your arm looks like back here. This is something that could be increased. Usually 90 miles an hour is like right here. So we want to lay back a little bit more, and you're going to get that with the arm care and bands. So let's take a cross section of your elbow and see where you're at. This is what we call an arm fly out, where you come outside of the elbow and go around it as opposed to going through it. So I'd like to keep this bent a little bit right around here, and that's what's going to push and increase your velocity, and your deceleration phase is going to be a lot easier to get into as well. You're going to use your body. So I'm not talking about completely changing, I'm talking about reducing these small arm flaps, the small things that you could change to increase your velocity a lot. So arm flap, definitely a weakness for sure. So thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you coming to the camp and looking forward to coming back.